Morning. Hope everyone's doing well. This is a little bit of a different adventure for a couple of reasons. One, first time in a while I haven't been out solo. I'm joined by my brother and my father for a little mini retreat into the wilderness. So the second difference is we're on the water versus hiking. Well, there's a little bit of hiking, but mostly on the water. We are testing our mettle in canoes, and we are, all three of us, incredibly green when it comes to canoes. To even qualify us as novices would give a discredit to novices. So there is no grace of form in our canoes. There is a whole lot of awkwardness getting in and out, but at least, knock on wood, thus far we have not fallen in. And yes, we are in the Kawartha Highlands, which is about 2.5 hours northeast of Toronto. Although it seems like every time I describe where I am, it's always about 2.5 hours some direction from Toronto, which may say something about Toronto. We are doing the Serpentine Loop, which is the northern end of the Kawartha Highlands, a series of about 7 lakes and 7 portages. Good few days. We'll describe a little bit more as we go, but welcome to my Hikification. Just at the end of the first portage, coming into Rathburn Lake. A lot of canoes left here, I'm assuming because there's no fishing in the other lake. So people with cottages on Ansberger have an easy access without having to portages each time. Gorgeous day. Couldn't ask for better weather. We were a little worried coming out, but last week the forecast was rain every day. As we got closer though, it just turned into sun every day. Night 1, first fire. Tradition, first night of a trip, steaks are on the menu. First fish of the day. This is campsite 221 on Serpentine Lake. Gorgeous campsite. You're on your own little island. Made wood gathering a bit of a challenge, but we actually ended up staying most of the night at the second fire pit down there. As you can see, you're surrounded by water. Not a bad paddle in. We were a little separated last night. Father in the duplex. A nice sheltered flat spot. Brother was set up in the Big Agnes Copper Spur expedition. It's a winter tent, but one in Rome. And ignore the gear explosion. I pulled out the hammock for the evening. Great view of the lake as you wake up. Got a little of sunrise. We have a short starting paddle today to our first portage, which is just down there. Oh, or there, as it may turn out. I have a feeling this is not going to work really well, but we're going to give you a glimpse of the struggles that is the portage. Luckily this is a smaller portage. 200 meters. And you're bouncing all over. A little creek as we head to Copper Lake. Short day today. It's kind of going from a quick paddle, one minor portage, set up camp and just relax. It's pretty much required after a really tough day yesterday. So yesterday was a challenging day. Weather was great. didn't film too much until we actually got to camp, mostly because myself, my father, and my brother were all pretty novices at this canoeing game. And there were a couple strenuous portages, one particularly strenuous. It was about 1.5 kilometers. I'm sure some people think that's just a walk in the park, but it was hard slogging for us anyway. Double carried it, made it a little bit more tough, but it means we have a few more accoutrements with us to enjoy over a few days we're out here. Today, by design, is a much shorter day. We had one very short portage, a nice paddle through a stream, a creek, out onto now Copper Lake, where we're at site 231. So we're able to kind of get here by literally 2. We had a late start in the morning, did a little bit of fishing. I will admit I was lucky enough to catch a fish on my very first cast, and then shut out after that. They nibble when it's bottom, and then they get upset, and then they have a big bite.
You going already?
First catch.
Oh, first cast. Look, Dad. Oh, he's a baby. Hang on. Let me get that. Hang on, because we're gonna have to compare fish at the end of the day.
My father, however, is definitely the grand prize winner for fishing, at least thus far. This afternoon, though, it's just rest. Had a little swim. Had a little nap. We will play a little cribbage likely, and then get out on the canoe a little bit as the sun starts to go down, and have another good dinner. Second campsite for the trip. We're on campsite 231, just off Copper Lake. A little bit at Pinnacle. We'll do a bit of a tour. This one's a little bit more open and exposed. Luckily we're having no weather come through, so you get the views. We've got plenty of firewood. That should do us for a while anyway. Chef for the evening. Nothing beats finishing an evening with a nice fire. Credit to the big brother, mad fire skills. Complemented by gorgeous sunset. did? Good day. So I did manage to hang the food barrel last night. No judgment on the quality of hang, please. But it's up there. I must say last night went a lot better than 2 nights ago, where I did attempt to hang the barrel at least. Set the barrel line over a branch earlier in the day. After dark, before I went to bed, went to actually pull up the food barrel. Lo and behold, the barrel and the branch came tumbling down. We had a little extra firewood, which was great. Missed me by a couple feet, which was also good. Needless to say, the barrel did not get hung that night. I was not attempting to throw another line after dark. We just took our chances. Today, a little more success. A little gear interlude. Shout out to the Recreational Barrel Works and their food barrel dividers. These things keep me very organized, and their little cooler bag. We put some steaks and some meat, and as well as a couple freezer bags in there, thinking, oh, it'll be thawed out by the end of the night. Frozen solid at the end of the first day. We had to take some extraordinary measures to thaw them out in time for that first dinner, as well as the ancillary, I guess, item pack. And plus the level 6 gear harness. While the torso length is probably a little bit short, at least if you're 6 feet tall, it does make hauling the food barrel much easier. Pancakes are being made. The perfect camp breakfast. Dad, the inaugural bite. I like having you in the sun. How's the first bite?
Good.
Pancakes are good?
Yep.
Justin is our chef.
And fish cleaner.
And fish cleaner. Dual duties. Still a little bit of food left. In my typical packing fashion, I brought too much, and in this case I brought too much for 3. We'll never go hungry in case we actually have to stay an extra day, which after yesterday might actually be a good idea. Little waterfall in the midst of the 200-meter portage from the tributary off Copper, heading over to Rathburn. Gives a little bit of coolness coming off. I love me a good waterfall. So we're just finishing up the last day here. The Kawartha Highlands, Serpentine Loop. Figure probably a good chance for a bit of a recap. We left around 11 o'clock on Wednesday from the Anstruther Lake access point. I've got a solo canoe, but we rented a canoe for my dad and brother from the Kawartha Adventure Rentals. Showed up right on time, really nice. A good lightweight, semi-lightweight Kevlar canoe, so make the portage a little bit easier. Didn't film much that first day, at least as we were progressing. It was a tougher day, especially for us novices. The one portage at the end, that 1.5 kilometers that we double carried, that was hard. A lot of uphill, especially at the end of a long day. But good campsite that first night. I will say this trip is probably punctuated by my more klutzier moments. Probably not unexpected for any people that have viewed some of my videos in the past. Let's see, the first day I did take a tumble with the canoe, literally 100 feet from the end of that long portage. Went over on the ankle a little bit, but luckily nothing was damaged either on me or the canoe. That night at the campsite, gorgeous campsite, campsite 221, right beside the fire pit underneath the log, unbeknownst to me, was a wasp nest. And of course I sit down right on that log to irritate the wasp to no end and got bit 3 times very quickly in short succession. So those swelled up a little bit painful. Luckily I'm not overly allergic, but does make you think about the precautions that maybe you need to take. That night, of course, the bear bag branch fell as I was trying to hoist up the barrel. That was fun. Next day, as we left Serpentine Lake through a bit of a channel over to Copper Lake, it was a bit boggy actually as you entered that channel coming out of that very first portage. And didn't look that bad, but very muddy and deep mud, to the point where when I was trying to launch the canoe, I stepped in the mud and it went up to my knees and I lost my crock in the mud. Part of me wish we had footage of that, but then the other part of me is very glad that we have no lasting record of that embarrassing moment. Continuing through that portage, I've got a fishing pole and I had my hook still attached to it, ideally secured. It came loose while I was portaging the canoe. Didn't realize it, caught a branch, the hook, and pulled the line out maybe 200 feet before I became aware. So that was a bit of a shock. Outside of that, just your usual foibles. Yesterday was a really nice day. We had a really relaxing day. It was just a short paddle, short portage. It was nice just to spend time with family, have a swim, have a nap, which you never really have time to do in normal life. You know, we had a good dinner, tried my hand at the s'mores, the 2-bite brownie peanut butter marshmallow s'mores. Full credit goes to Chris Prouse. I completely stole your idea from your videos and very glad I did. See you next year, my friend. Been waiting for this. So good. So good. Today, winding things up, really nice day. You know, all told, the weather has been absolutely beautiful. Not too hot, at least yet. The wind has been minimal, if anything, and just made a really good break from city with really no challenges added on outside the ones we kind of give ourselves. I will say none of us canoe very well, and I wouldn't say the skills have improved that much through the course of it, but I've enjoyed it. There is a peacefulness and a tranquility. This morning being out on the lake and kind of the winding river creek as the fog was just burning off really is a memory that gets instilled. And the best part really is, while I have always hiked alone, being able to spend time with my brother and my father in a different scenario than what we would typically do was worth the trip in and of itself, irrespective of everything. So I'll do a couple parting shots as we get through the last lake. Load the canoe up on the thing, but I wish everyone well and wish you were out here. End of the trip. How do you feel?
Great.
Survived, Justin? We made it, which I think is an accomplishment unto itself. I hope you are staying safe, enjoying the tail end of summer. Till next time, hike or canoe on.